Wow, I feel so flattered. Thank you. I'm Oren. I'm a CCS literature student, 4th year. And first poem I'm going to read is about the most marginalized finger, which is the thumb. I was just looking at my hand and thinking how different it is than all the rest, so decided to write a poem about it. Why not? Thumbs. Thumb is the outer ring finger, if we may even call him that, the perfunctory backbone, though we never realize it. Unlike his brothers and sisters, he sacrificed his vanity to help us grip things like pens. Notice, it is always the thumb taking the blame for us, as he directs himself back to number one and says, "I'm the guy that did it." You'll never see a thumb working out or wanting to stay lean and fit, and when you're typing, the thumb does all that dirty spacebar work between words with literally nothing to show for it. Thumb hitchhikes us back home when it's the only option left, points up and down, calls it as it is. It's a shame thumb wrestling torture matches hardly make it as the pay-per-view main event. This next poem I wrote while I was working at the Dining Commons, Ortega, which is just right across from CCS. A lot of fun memories. It's called Chopping Onions. They got me chopping onions. 3 cooks were out, and a fellow employee had taken off crying with the news of a dead friend. Luz, the head cook, showed me how to get going. She cut the tail and the head off to make them flat at the ends, then in half to make them stubs, then each half into vertical sheets, then horizontal cubes. But only thin slices so they go nice in the rice, she instructed. I chopped carefully and took 8 bathroom breaks, washed my face and eyes in a sink with pedals like those of a piano instead of knobs for the faucet. My eyes were a pinkish red, and coworkers would have thought me a pansy had I said, chopping onions. Later, when work was over and I had my meal, which was part of the paycheck, I looked for my onions in the rice dish without success. My next poem I wrote when I was waiting at the train station to go visit my brother on his 25th birthday. This has nothing to do with that. At the Goleta train station, 1:12 p.m., December 18th, 2009. Sitting on a temporary permanent stone bench behind the yellow stripe that says, "Do not pass," I studied Wallace Stevens' ever-brittle book that might collapse if bent. On page 80 of this economic $3 edition, the price penciled in on the top right corner of the first page, as is a tacit custom among used bookstore owners, oh, those brittle old readers. Hymn from a Watermelon Pavilion. And rereading this poem carefully 3 consecutive times, having read it also twice the night before, all I could pencil in for marginalia, with the thin lead of a machine pencil, which, if not used carefully and with a softened edge, carves the skin of the page, was, "Seize the day, sleep can wait." And then, as if punished by God for using the exclamation point in vain, he passed a roaring train, scaring all us waiters half to death, suddenly aware of one another's breath. This next poem is controversial, but it's definitely, well, we'll see. It's a common story that Hollywood should cash in on. An established professor at an Ivy League school with 2 or 3 PhDs up his sleeve and solid tenure starts sleeping with a bright student who finds his mentorship cute. Never mind his resemblance to the Michelin tire mascot. She's pregnant by the end of her senior year. On graduation day, her gown conceals the growing hill on her stomach. She's got her senior thesis complete and a summa cum laude secured. The professor whispers his wedding proposal in her ear as mother photographs daughter with mentor on the green field. Oh. Sorry, that happens. I'm going to start over, I'm sorry. Mentors. It's a common story that Hollywood should cash in on. An established professor at an Ivy League school with 2 or 3 PhDs up his sleeve and a solid tenure starts sleeping with a bright student who finds his mentorship cute. Never mind his resemblance to the Michelin tire mascot. She's pregnant by the end of her senior year. On graduation day, her gown conceals a growing hill on her stomach. She's got her senior thesis complete and a summa cum laude secured. The professor whispers his wedding proposal in her ear as mother photographs daughter with mentor on the green field. She smiles. Her answer. It's problematic. It's a very blocky looking poem. Safekeeping. A graying old man steps into the coffee shop as I write about the past. Somebody dropped this, he asks, kneeling. He is holding a stack of coupons connected by a paper clip. I make eye contact, shake my head no as he rises. He is dressed in dark blue, a postal service shirt tucked into jeans, held up by a belt. His young eyes search the room as he waves a coupon bouquet around in search of a retriever. Nobody responds, not even the pretty blonde cashier. She is wearing a headset. Somewhat defeated, the man walks towards the counter, not quite ready to place an order. "Hi, Bill," the working girl says. He says hello, but his eyes are still regarding the paper stack with concern. And the last poem, what I like to do is when I can't write poems, I just look at a picture of somebody who's written many poems, and usually that will do something for me. So I was looking at a picture of Miloš, and this is called Portrait of Miloš as an Old Man. Frozen there in black and white, Miloš stands in a room full of books. You know, one of those scholarly rooms with lots of wooden stuff and a fancy globe. He's looking off into the distance, not acknowledging the cameraman, with a book in his hands, opened like a V, eyebrows raised, also like V's. They've caught him mid-phrase, I can tell, because his mouth is open, and it looks like he's just taken a deep breath, considering what he should say next to the press during this interview. I'm having a hard time trying to make out the names on the book spines behind him on the shelf, but two stand out better than anything else: the dictionary and something by Nabokov.